Hey everyone, we're here with the Horizon Zero Dawn review, and we're kind of switching things up just ever so slightly. Instead of these long form reviews, we're going to break it down into something a little more straightforward and bite-sized. We're going to have, roughly 5 to 10 minute reviews at most, kind of just like this one's going to be right here. Following those reviews where we give the score first, then a breakdown, it'll only be a big summary or short summary of all of our points for the score. Then you can check out the review, which will be restructured to actually take each point that we talked about in our review here and break it down further with a guest over the course of about an hour and kind of get some differing opinions and have more of a conversation about what worked and what didn't within the game and everybody's opinions on those things. So, without further ado, let's jump into Horizon Zero Dawn. It was suggested to us a little recently to put our scores at the beginning of the video, which I thought would be an interesting idea to mess with. This way, you as the viewer get our one-line opinion up front and then can stick around if you'd like to hear our explanations or at least a little more detail. Like I said earlier, for a full breakdown, check out the Gamescast where we will be breaking our review down even further and having a discussion about it. This particular one might not follow that way. It's a very recent change in the way we've recorded these things, kind of puts them out of order, but the next review for Nier Automata and Mass Effect Andromeda will follow that system. This is largely my scoring. Of course, Matt is still a part of the channel here. Due to his schedule, we were making this mostly my opinion here, and then as we build and grow and he's able to contribute more, we'll have more time to deliberate and come to an agreement on the scores and, of course, have him in more videos. So the story sits at an 8.5 out of 10. Unique, fun, but not necessarily enthralling. Well and far above average, but only a few things holding it back. Gameplay is, of course, another 8.5 out of 10. It's very intuitive, it's very fluid, it's very entertaining, and it's very fun it's easy to learn. The only thing it suffers from are your less than amazing human encounters and some slightly confusing aggro ranges and issues with the robots that we had here and there. Audio and visual design hit another easy 9 out of 10 with some stiff facial animations, the occasional texture popping, and some flat dialogue that held it back. I would love a PC port to see how beautiful this game would be. However, it might take some rewriting to kind of, and facial animation changes to perfect that. Otherwise, looks gorgeous. So I've been including the user interface as a category. It's not game breaking or anything, but it is something worth mentioning as games with too many menus and too many options can be very overwhelming and flood the player. Horizon, while not by any means bad, gets a comfortable 7 out of 10 here. Like I said, it's not hugely important, but a smooth interface can prevent breaking immersion by not having to go through all of these menus and items and pausing the game to do these things. In Horizon, the focus is a very cool concept, and I think that they could have moved many of the menu options from the pause screen to the focus, creating a more fluid experience where the player isn't pulled from the game to check items, level up, view the map, and so forth. As a whole, Horizon gets 8.5 out of 10 after rounding, 8.375 to be exact, and Guerrilla Games really deserves it. We're looking forward to whatever they make next, but in the meantime, we'll have to finish off some of the remaining side missions that we have available. Stick around for the second half to hear a little more of the reasoning behind these scores. So Horizon Zero Dawn is great. It's not perfect, but it is absolutely great. Guerrilla Games' new IP puts to bed any worry about the change in style from Killzone. Not that anyone was really worried about it leading up to the release. With a strong lead, Aloy's story has great pacing, avoiding a typical problem in a lot of games where the main storyline is very time sensitive, but then it doesn't matter if you go off and spend hundreds of hours doing side missions to your heart's content. Horizon waits till later in the story to really give you a reason to hurry along with the main questline. Everything prior to this is about world building and learning about the land you inhabit, meshing perfectly with this idea that Aloy is just coming of age and being ready to discover the world on her own. There are, though, a few problems with dialogue and motive here and there. Nothing crazy or immersion breaking, but some of the lines that seem to have player choice associated with them suffer from the Fallout 4 problem of having 3 different ways to achieve the same result.
Can't you just for one moment stop calculating and let yourself feel?
Let yourself feel.
There's pretty much never a fear of picking the right or wrong conversation point. This leads to a story that is very entertaining, but also fairly linear. There's a lot of stuff to do, but unlike most open worlds, Guerrilla Games gives you just the right amount of optional things to do without making it feel like endless piles of crap are being thrown at you just in the name of content and filler. Human enemies in general, though, are way too easy since they are apparently blind and have no concern for friends dropping dead right next to them with an arrow through the neck. This makes some of the encounters like the bandit camps a little less than fantastic. Tall-Gens, on the other hand, along with the Tall Necks, are near perfect for me. Each one's familiar and similar to the others, but there's always an individual and specific feel that make all of them distinct from the rest. Robots, of course, also the main draw of the game. You know who has 4 thumbs and can't say no to them? We do. Us, the 2 of us. We can't say no to robot dinosaurs. Every robot is distinct, minus probably 2 of them, who look a little bit like each other, but thankfully have differing strengths and weaknesses just like every other robot, so once you figure out which one it is, you know how to take it down. Ranging in difficulty and quantity, Guerrilla Games hit just the right amount of concept in a new IP that, with DLC or a new game, players wouldn't feel overwhelmed by adding new robots that could have initially been included in the game, but might have led to too many. The combat, though, man and machine alike, is fluid and fun every time. It is possible to be under-prepared for situations, but it's fairly rare, and the difficulty can be turned down mid-game if needed for those parts. Horizon encourages experimenting with weapons with 4 available in the quick select menu. These can be changed with just a few button presses and offer a lot of variety in tackling combat situations without any one weapon in particular standing out as overpowered. There are a few things we missed that I intend to go back to on my own, like a suit of power armor that sounds clearly overpowered, but still a worthy reward for the effort required to get it. Yes, it is power armor and therefore overpowered. That was the joke. All I have left are a chunk of side missions and optional zones like the corrupted areas and hunting grounds that have the time trials. With the easy to remember and smooth combat, Horizon makes a great choice for long immersive hours or the short pick up and play times that many of us have with our busy schedule. Like Neo, Horizon took clear inspiration from many different games. Where it differs though is that Guerrilla Games managed to either improve or at the minimum create a distinct version of any particular concept within their game, and it is well worth buying to experience this PS4 exclusive. Thanks everyone for watching. This has been the Zero Patience review of Horizon Zero Dawn. Check out our Gamescast for more detailed talk on our opinions of the game, as well as a conversation with the guest who may or may not agree with us. And we'll be back soon with Nier Automata's review and Mass Effect, down the line there. Check out our Let's Plays if you haven't, and have a fantastic day.